Alright ladies, let's go. Game number 1, playoffs for Division S North America. We're actually in the first round here, and we have the Lost Boys going up against Close to Death. Best of 5 series. And game number 1 plays out on Dragonshire. On the left side, we have Killusion on Tyrande, Hosty on Vala, Cattle on Murden, Talking Trees on Jaina, and Zergling on Imperius. And over to the right side of the map, Keenan for Close to Death on Alarak, Huberman on Anduin, Cookie Man on Sylvanas, Bloodsplat on Chen, and Red Robot is playing ETC. Okay, I'm game. Let's see how this one is going to pan out. North America, so I actually expect a little bit of shenanigans here in this tournament. It's good to have Chen also making an impression on the North American scene and not only being highlighted in Europe. Massive aggression in the early game already. And that's a solo kill. Cookie Man goes in, and this is how the cookie crumbles. Takes down Sylvanas, and Anduin is dead too. You know, the Lost Boys seem a little bit lost in the early game here, if you ask me. So, yep, an easy kill, an easy double kill even. Sylvanas on level 1 with the overwhelming affliction. And, well, I guess it's time to party here. But yeah, we have a pretty good setup at this point, and let's find out how this is gonna work for Cattle and his crew, because so far the early game has not really been in their favor. But, yeah, let's have a look at this one. The European Division S playoffs were actually absolutely insane. I mean, obviously, if you haven't really caught them on YouTube yet, I can really only recommend that you go over to youtube.com/KhaldorTV and check out the games that were uploaded there. Especially the grand final was insane. Best of 7 series with fantastic games being played there. And I really hope that we are going to see a similar level of entertainment on the North American side. But time will tell. So far we're off to a good start, a little bit of a brawly entrance into game number 1. And already Siege Giants taken on both sides. And another kill! Vala is dead again! What are you doing to my girl here? What's happening? I mean, seriously. Vala got buffed, obviously, in the recent patch and has now a few more hit points. It doesn't mean that you can frontline with her. She's not a tank, bro. Cattle also dying, and holy cow, the Lost Boys, one of the top teams in the North American Division S, is currently getting absolutely shit on in the early game. 4 kills against 0, an early level 4 now also for Close to Death, and they are going bananas here. It's like, damn. No negatively charged, instead the show of force here for Alarak. And talking Alarak, he's actually going for the Dragonite. He's going to get it too. Yep, there it is. Tyrande misses the Owl by a mile, and now we have the Dragonite in play 2 minutes into the game, so an early one. Hosty on Vala, rocking the new skin here, but so far eating a lot of damage, and going into the puncturing arrow. Bit of a hybrid build for him. It's been a hot minute since I've seen this particular hybrid setup that we're having here. So if you don't go for the Monster Hunter, it pretty much means that you're not interested in taking the camps early on, and that you still want to have the mana advantage in particular from the Hot Pursuit. Not necessarily a bad build. So especially from a European perspective, when you look at this, the first reaction is just like NA lul. But this can actually be a variation that can be quite powerful here, because it makes, first of all, sure that you have, well, more movement speed, obviously, when you have your stacks together. And in addition to that, your mana pool is a little bit more healthy. And if you are not planning on using the Monster Hunter to attack an Immortal, which doesn't exist on this map, or going for camps, then you can definitely play that particular style. But it's 6 kills against 0 at this point, and it's honestly a bit insane. I mean, what the hell is going on here? They are just crapping all over them. Hosty is still busying himself down at the bottom of the map and is of course trying now to also take this one. But they have to fall back here as a rotation is underway that has been spotted through the mid lane. Level 7 talents are now also in play for Close to Death, and that means that we are seeing them already with the festering wounds. Applied Force now taken, the Brewmaster's Balance for Chen. And guys, they are dominating. I mean, seriously. So far, this game hasn't even been close, and as I was heading into game number 1, I kind of expected the Lost Boys to be the absolute favorite in this series. They were the ones where I said, okay, they're going to dominate this for sure. Now, the bracket obviously is a bit of an adjusted one, with the winner bracket and loser bracket adjusted in the way that even in the earlier rounds, teams that are a bit closer to each other are facing off against each other. So if I'm not mistaken, this was a this is either the top seed against number 4 or number 2 against number 3 in the standings. I gotta admit that I'm not 100% certain on which position the Lost Boys finished. If Looking for Work was able to take the #1 spot. I'm pretty sure they did, so this must be #2 against #3 in the standings. But I still expect the Lost Boys to fight back a little bit harder here. They have at least level 7 talents right now, which definitely helps. And in this case, we're now seeing the repeating arrow. So the Vala hybrid build is definitely playing through. We're also seeing the Skullcracker against Chen. That can be quite helpful. If you get lucky enough that you interrupt, for example, the ult there, that would also be quite fantastic. 4 stacks for Vala. And the game isn't really over yet. I mean, yes, so far it's not really looking good for for the Lost Boys. But if they are able to get a few more hits in at any point and maybe win a team fight finally, they have a chance there. Talking about winning fights, down here at the bottom, it looks like Red Robot wants a bit more action, and he goes straight in. Collusion dodges out on the combo from Alarak. Keenan needs to be careful there too. ATC attacked again. Cattle with a jump in, but they cannot get the kill. Anduin with the heals, and now with the double control on the shrines. Again, the opportunity to go into the middle and get another Dragonite. Especially since they're only half a level away from a level 10. So that would give them heroics too. Oh, Cattle survives and Alarak dies. Still the 1 versus 1 between Imperius and Chen at the top side. And Imperius actually moved out of the fight because he was pretty much losing that against the Panda. But at least the 4-man at the bottom of the map is now starting to fight back, and that allows the Lost Boys to deny the Dragonite for the time being. And also still the question whether or not the level 10 abilities for Close to Death are going to give them a second objective, because they're back with 5-man on the map, and Alarak is now starting to come in too. Obviously, a little bit of a problem there also for Alarak. With him dying, he was pretty much reset on the sadism stacks. He looked pretty solid at this point. I think he was at 150 or something like that. So, yep, that kind of hurts him. There's again the opportunity to go for the objective, and that should be an easy one. Nobody there for the interrupt, and, well, Cattle was trying to get the top shrine, but he couldn't, not in time at least. And Anduin has a Dragonite. Cherish this moment, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time, the last time that you're going to see Anduin to actually do some damage in melee form. So normally he's already trying to stay in the back here. That guy doesn't know how to yield a sword to save his life. But apparently, when he turns into the Dragonite, he at least knows how to handle an axe. So taking down the fort in the mid lane, already a big win for them. ETC comes in with a stage dive, and there's only Splatter left where Imperius was before. Nice punt as Anduin is trying to go straight in for the kicks. And honestly, at this point, maybe he takes a liking to actually participating in the fight and dealing damage from a melee perspective. Maybe he finally puts that sword that he has on his back to some use there in the next fight and doesn't only throw light around, which is always a little bit awkward, to be honest. But yeah, with the fort now down, they have again the lead, 8 kills against 1. But I gotta say, considering that they have had 2 Dragonites now and that they also have a pretty big lead in kills, their experience lead is not as big as you would think, and that's still a little bit odd. They have the advantage in Mercenaries, they have the advantage in Heroes, passive advantage now too, so that's a little bit weird. I would have expected them to be even farther ahead than they are at this point. But either way, they are looking strong, so that is definitely true here. We're having still an opportunity. Oh, it's a trap! And yep, that should be a dead Talking Trees. Oh, but that one missed. And still the kill. No, yes! Alarak comes in, says, I got this one. But Red Robot, on the other hand, he's gotten too. ETC goes down. Anduin with the ult, but that got interrupted. Anduin down, ETC down to random Muradin. Everybody is dying. It's a full-on slaughter as we're having Imperius deleted as well. So it's 2 for 4 trade. Hosty, the only survivor here, went into strafe on level 10. But damn, son, that was a bloodbath down here. And now with the help of Sylvanas, they're going straight in for another fort. Considering the entire build that we've seen so far, I have very few doubts that we are going to see the extra spell damage from Vala on level 16. I don't really think that we're going to have Manticore taken from her. We have seen actually a couple of variations of that build just recently, but I think with that heavy focus into strafe and also the arrow, there's a really good chance that we're going to see the added spell power with the newly reformed talent Seething Hatred. So outside of that, Blade of the High Lord now taken as well for Alarak, who's by the way back on 108 sadism for himself. We're having topside, another jump, another bolt, and another kill potentially. ETC, can he get away from this one? And he stage dives out. The better safe than sorry play. I gotta admit, that was probably what saved his ass there. 19 stacks by now for the level 1 in the baseline for Muradin. Doesn't really capitalize on any stun with a kill yet. But we have the camp taken at the bottom of the map, and that brings us to the double camp. Not quite as nicely stacked as we've seen a lot in the European scene here, but this is still doing a lot of damage if both of the camps push in together with the catapult too. That's actually a play that in Europe has become incredibly popular. Stack the two camps and then just absolutely murder. And if you have a Sylvanas in your lineup to push, that push obviously becomes much stronger as well. Hosty with a quick vault away, and that was needed. If ETC gets a hold of him, he's toast. Yep, and with this, they're now starting to go straight in for the keep. And honestly, can you really defend it? There's no talent yet for the Lost Boys. No 13, and that keep should be a goner. If you're gonna get a couple of kills here, you might even think about finishing the game. But 10 minutes in, those death timers are obviously quite low, but the death is still there for Imperius. He's down, so is the keep. Hosty completes the quest, so that helps him a little bit, but the aggression is still there. Keenan not able to get the final hit in, though. But they are still aggressive, and Anduin with the immediate help here through the trade, making sure that nobody else dies. Stage dive onto the top lane from ETC, saying, boys, let's go and get another Dragonite. And Close to Death is really just killing the Lost Boys here. I mean, they are doing so well in this first game. It's honestly, it's a little bit shocking, to be honest with you. 13 kills against 3. I mean, this is just a damn son moment right there. Level 13 talent least available now for the blue team, but we already have 16 coming up in another moment. There's the slide and another attack against Cattle, who pops the avatar and tries to go for the kill against Alarak. Not working yet. Zergling gets hit and Zergling goes down. That's another kill, and we have 6 kills against Imperius already, and now with the Dragonite, they're going straight in for the keep in the middle. I was even expecting them to go for the core, to be honest with you. Now that Tyrande is dead, they might still decide to do that. Now there's the strafe at least, but the jump, the panda, and the kill. Vala down, and that has to be the end of it. Anduin is trying to be a bit helpful here and pops the ult. The ice block is preventing Chen to get the kill, but that core should fall. 16 kills against 3 and also 16 against 13 now when it comes to talents, and that is an easy victory here for the team in red. Nicely done by them. Vala doesn't even get a chance to go for the Seething Hatred there. But as it stands, we have the lead in the best of 5 series here at the Division S North America playoffs for Close to Death as they take game number 1 in the best of 5. Game number 2, ladies! There we go, the Lost Boys against Close to Death, and well, the Lost Boys were pretty close to death in game number 1. They honestly got murdered there. It was kind of insane. So Close to Death need to be a little bit careful right now. They're definitely under NSA surveillance after the killing that we saw in game number 1. Now on Volskaya Foundry, our second map, we have over to the left side, Killusion on Malfurion, Hosty on Sylvanas, Cattle on Garrosh, Zergling on Blaze, and Talking Trees on Reyna. On the right side of the map in the meantime, we have Keenan on Greymane, Cookieman on Medivh, Red Robot on Nubarak, Bloodsplat on Imperius, and Huberman on Lucio. So yeah, let's see what we're gonna get for our second game here. The lead in the best of 5, Close to Death. I mean, it would be a pretty big win for them, I would say, I think, to actually take this one, easy peasy. Also, Unfurling Shadows for Sylvanas. It's time to stack, baby! And that's also true for this little bad boy. Oh, Medivh. Whoop, whoop. And he's down already. An early kill against him doesn't really hurt him too much. It's not like he had a ton of stacks just yet. But it definitely sets the pace right now. Shittiest Blaze skin in the entire game, by the way. I just have to repeat it every single time I see that skin. It is disgusting. The robot turns into a weird guy with flamethrower thingies. Like, I don't know. Not really a fan of that skin. So, yeah, not quite sure. But he has the money pick, so that kind of makes up for it again. So I gotta say that Zergling, I'm a little bit torn right now. Either way, though, we have another little fight just as the objective, or well, not the objective, but the first item spawn. And Cattle is completely isolated, and don't tell me he survives this. What? Okay, Cattle is alive. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. That should have been a kill. I would be salty if I'm on the blue team now. So Lucio is in the action, and well, they put him together with Medivh, who's now sitting at 7 stacks. items are still being fought over. And this is not one of these calm, collected, coordinated European plays where we see every team just going for a simple agreement, saying, okay, you take your turret, we take ours. No, 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 no. In an A, they want to have a little bit more brawls, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. The mass invade from the Lost Boys, taking the turret of their opponent, and there's still 2 camps up on the map. So for close to death, this is actually a little bit of an awkward position. That turret just got stolen, and well, on the left side we're seeing a similar action now happening too. Honestly, I don't even remember if I've ever seen this in a playoff on this level, that a team actually gets both turrets, steals the one away. If they can also fight for the healing beacon all the way out the top, that would be crazy. And they're actually arriving in time, aren't they? The stuns are being dodged, and yeah, Khaldor doesn't really arrive there in time to make a difference, but that would have been crazy. All 3 items at the beginning of the game, I mean, what? But as it stands, we have double turret against the healing beacon, and the objective is obviously going to be announced soon. 16 stacks for the Unfurling Shadow so far. And with the setup that we are having right now, has a little bit of potential for, well, kind of one-shots. I would assume that after the changes to the Cursed Bullet, the talent is going to be taken here in this game. Just so you can burn down, let's say, Reyna or anyone else a little bit quicker. A quick engage with the portal would also be quite nice. But it's definitely not 100% the comp that I expected to see on this map. So I feel like the Lost Boys have a way more standard composition that seems to just be a little bit more normal, and also has an insane amount of just frontline sustain with Garrosh and also Blaze to boot. So that's pretty solid for them. With that said, we're having for, again, Sovereign Armor on level 4 for Imperius. Obviously his talents got changed a little bit too, especially abilities. Molten Armor a little bit more powerful these days, which means that a lot of the players have started to shift the focus of the talent slightly. Objective already taken, and now it's just a question of whether one of the teams goes into level 7 a little bit quicker. Hosty gets some additional stacks together, sitting at 20 now. They're burning down the top because they have to deal with this camp here, which means that the tanks are actually retreating from the position. But Khaldor is trying to hold on for this one for as long as he can. As the Indomitable, hasn't really used it yet. Okay, 2 versus 5. Not really a fight that you should usually take. But in comes Collusion and starts to heal them out there. That helps. But they still have to try and fight back for the spot now. So this is the time when really the items are coming into play. And already they're going for Cookie Man again. Yeah, now Medivh has to be a bit more careful. 17 stacks for him, that's a different story than the death in the early game. But the position is still being held by close to death, and the momentum that they gained in game number 1 is obviously going to continue here if they can pull it off. First turret in. Healing beacon as well. Another jet propulsion connects, and they're throwing Imperius into the back line, trying to get the kill against him. But there's portal time. Keenan comes in too. Talking trees. Keenan a little bit low and escapes. Khaldor might not quite be that lucky, but it's actually Lucio who's dying first. Lucio already down, and Imperius also dead. So yeah, 2 eliminated, and that gives the Lost Boys a pretty good chance there. So apparently game number 1 wasn't quite their forte, but now they use Google Maps or something and they're not lost anymore. They found their way, at least that's what it seems like. They get another turret as well. So all of a sudden we're having items in their hands, we're having a lot of momentum thanks to the Protector that they are very likely going to get now too. There's still a chance to fight back though. I mean, there's another 5-man on the map. The problem is that the blue team has now full item control because they are going to rock another 2 turrets for that fight, so they have the advantage there. Malfurion is the one that holds the shrine, not even a tank. Here comes the engage again. Nice! Root on the ground. Jet propulsion. They're in real trouble. Lucio trying to get away. Keenan down. And the stacks reset on Medivh. Yep, another attack towards Nubarak here. And it looks like the bug is going to die. You can buy yourself a little bit more time if you want to, but that's about it. So he goes down. In the meantime, we're having the Protector sitting tight in the middle and going for more damage. The obvious rotation would be to the top lane now to prepare for objective number 2. But it seems like the Lost Boys are actually not really interested in preparing objective number 2 and instead are trying to go straight in for the 40 in the middle. They should be able to get this. The push obviously enhanced with Sylvanas present, and therefore 1-4 down. Fountain taken down too, and they can still make the rotation, and honestly 69% on that bad boy. They should still be able to take that Fountain down easily. Resetting the stacks on Medivh, that's another issue for sure, and that was definitely a massive problem. Level 10 abilities are there, 1.5 level lead after close to death, just murdered game number 1. This is a completely different story right now. So let's see what else is going to happen there. At this point, we're having again a bit of an attack, and Jesus, that's just the first protector. That's protector number 1, guys, and we have 2 forts down. What the hell? The Lost Boys have definitely started to... I mean, apparently the bear got poked there. The Lost Boys get a little bit angry after the first game, and now they're absolutely killing it here. I'm liking it. And they're not even stopping with the level 10 abilities. They're all of a sudden starting to push for the keep itself. Now, I don't think they can get the... Well, actually, I mean, they might with Sylvanas. I don't think they should get the keep here, but they still have half a level. They might be able to pull it off. Guys, we're talking 7 minutes into the game. This is still objective number 1. And they are already burning this down. And if they continue that poke, especially with Imperius trying to get experience down at the bottom of the map and them having full vision, they could make that commitment happen. Level 10 abilities are soon going to be ready for close to death. But yep, that keep has taken an enormous amount of damage. And now it's time for additional items apparently, as the healing beacon could be attacked. But damn, very different game from what we've seen in the first one. So let's see. Level 10 abilities with the ley line. The bullet is in as well. Having the angelic armaments taken. And the sound barrier. Never high five, baby. Feels bad, man. So it's a little bit opposite day at this point. Game number 1, close to death, just killing it. Now 7 kills against them and not a single one on the board for them. So a really advantageous situation for the Lost Boys. And yeah, they're doing really well here. So another attack over to the healing beacon. Greyman is obviously doing his thing. Sylvanas in the meantime is trying to get another turret for the team here. They already have one, so it's a similar trade to what we've seen early on. The rest of the team is just trying to delay this a little bit. And level 13 talents are going to become obviously an issue throughout all of this. The attack against Medivh, and he just barely gets out. Sylvanas now, on the other hand, has a problem because she doesn't have the wave anymore. Cattle with the save, the stun, and they go for it. That could be a kill. No, Medivh, no. He's dead again. No stacks for him. Reset on the baseline once more. I think it was roughly at 20, and he dies once again. So, yeah. Not looking good for him, I'm not gonna lie. He doesn't get any stacks together, and Sylvanas is currently sitting at 54. He has the level 13 abilities, and they're actually going straight in for the fort. Everybody's ignoring the objective at this point, and has just now been announced. But they're just destroying the entire setup here. This is a bit bananas, to be honest. At this point, the Lost Boys are just like, Protector? The fuck is a Protector? Oh, the objective? Yeah, we don't need that crap. No. We decided that we are not going to go for this. We're just going to kill them without it. Yeah, it's our new strategy that we're executing here. So we're treating this a little bit like Blackheart's Bay, where you never have to actually do anything there. So, yeah. But yeah, things are looking pretty good for the Lost Boys. Not quite sure what else to say there. Look at the damage output. I'm sorry, but Medivh with the 2 resets on his baseline is the top damage dealer for the team with 14,000. Sylvanas on the other side is doubling that damage quite easily. And yeah, it just tells you all that you need to know right now. Greyman is just not able to get the damage out there either. 8 kills against 0, and this one is just insane. Greyman, by the way, is at the bottom of the map. If you are... I mean, honestly, if you are close to death, how do you play this now? You're in a situation where you need your level 13 before you do anything else, but if they lose this Protector, it means at least keep. So this is going to be rough. I mean, really rough. Lost Boys, I mean, someone should tell them that they don't get 2 wins if they kick their opponent's ass this hard. So it's still only going to be 1 map win if they decide this in their favor. But yeah, right now they seem to be quite eager to make an impression there, to make a bit of a statement. Top lane is of course close to death now, in an opportunity to maybe turn this back. 13 against 13, this is the best shot that they have, seriously. If you have 13, same talents as your opponent, you have a chance of fighting back for this, and this is what they're trying to do. Down at the bottom of the map, it's once again item time as they're going for the turret and trying to grab another one here. Up to the top, yep, Zergling is sitting tight, and they're obviously waiting for Malfurion and Jimmy to make the rotation. And here comes also another camp that could potentially be taken throughout all of this. 80% against 63 right now, and it is party time! And we're talking 3 items for the blue team against the healing beacon on the other side. There's the attack already. Lucio immediately trying to save the team. No sound barrier just yet, though. And, well, that cocoon didn't last very long, did it now? Here comes the Hyperion. That isn't going to do a whole lot. But Keenan! Oh, the ley line! And there's the taunt. Alright, they're trying to try and go for the kill again. Sound barrier comes through too, but everybody's low on the red team side. Keenan is low, nearly dying to the wailing arrow of Sylvanas. Imperius is already falling, and the rest of the team is on the run as we have Garrosh starting to focus his attention back onto the objective itself. And things are looking dangerous here. 13 stacks for Medivh. So, well, let's see if he can finally complete it at some point. So far, he's at least gathering a couple of stacks. He's also getting attacked at the same time, finding himself in a battle with Hosty. Hosty? Illusion with a save. Hosty's just sitting there. YOLO! And Malfurion is trying to keep Sylvanas alive as the Protector moves in. Jet propulsion this time missing. The bullet connects though, and Zergling is dropping in hit points pretty quickly. A lot of the ults are already down, but we're having 16 talents now against 13, and in addition to that, the Protector, and they take the keep down. I mean, that was the easy one. Can he go for the core? That's the bigger question, and they're definitely going to try here. Already Lucio getting attacked again. 71 stacks for Sylvanas, and once more the target of the cocoon. But it gets burned down within moments. Now they're trying to make the play for, yeah, for what? Keep number 2? Are they trying to go for the core? They're a little bit indecisive here. They're not quite really making a choice yet. A little bit of poke against the mid lane. But they're starting to wrap around here, apparently in an attempt to see if they can make a play. Nice attempt to catch someone out from the portal. I mean, it didn't quite work out, but if it did, they would look like gods here. And as it stands, they're making the jump straight into the middle. 20 seconds left on the Protector. Raymond is still at the bot lane. Here comes the Hyperion, and honestly, with all of that, the second keep is going to fall as well. So they're going to get both keeps, and the only question is when they're going to make the play for the core itself. Either way, this is now a bit of a disaster for Close to Death, since the next objective obviously spawns bot side. So we're going to have top and mid lane both pushing aggressively against the core with catapults. So they're not going for a finish yet. They're looking quite strong here. Now, Uberak is going to complete his quest soonish. So if he is actually a little bit diligent about getting those regeneration globes, he might have the extra 500 HP for the next big fight. But in terms of talents and experience, they are far behind, like, holy cow. There is still a chance that Medivh actually completes his quest. As insane as it might sound. I mean, we're not quite 100% certain if that's going to be the case. Up to the top. Still trying to get that fight. This time, I think they might be able to get it. Here comes the lockdown, and Uberak gets saved. The ley line is there as well, and they take the healing beacon. But they might still be forced into a fight that they don't really want to fight out there. Sound barrier already used. Turrets on the ground, so is the healing beacon. Cattle, they want to go for the perfect game, and Hosty ruins it by feeding. Goes down, first kill for Close to Death right here. 16 versus 16 Talent, and there's the second kill. Epicenter makes it possible. Talent got nerfed, obviously, in the last patch, but still, the main part, the important part for the Talent is still in play, because now you have the extra cooldown reduction on it, so that's actually pretty sweet for them. With that, we're now also having Cookie Man still sitting topside and trying to make his little play there. So far, so good for them. Down at the bottom of the map, still trying to get a bit of additional experience for Bloodsplat, as he is going to aim to bring them a bit closer to the level of their opponent. I kind of doubt that this is going to happen for them in the long run, but there's still a chance that they don't have to fight over the next objective at a disadvantage, depending on when it spawns. A 16 versus 16 talent battle would be the best situation for Close to Death that they can hope for. Topside push with Cookie Man as they're trying to get the experience there too. And he's sitting at 35 stacks, so he needs to be careful that he doesn't get flanked at any point. Is already using the portal to move away since they've lost the vision over the blue team. But yeah, it would be pretty insane. So it's a question of comeback or no comeback. And as I said before, there are a couple of quest talents that could be completed in time in order to have a big impact here. And one of them is Uberak's level 1. He needs another 5 globes to make it happen. And that is definitely a reasonable amount to be gathered, especially if you can take another camp at some point. Or just simply go, for example, towards the top lane. There's a double here. You can't catch that. But 5 is definitely possible until the next objective is online. It's a level 20 talent. It's really the biggest issue. If the Lost Boys get their Storm talents, then they go into the objective with an even bigger advantage. And I talked a bit, obviously, about how impactful, especially those catapults are going to be as the fight is focusing onto the bot lane, which means that on the opposite side of the map, you're going to get pressured on the core. So the Lost Boys, they are in a good position. But I've seen some insane games on this map in particular. I'm always reminded of Boluo, when the Swedes went to China and tried to play there and had an insane game on this map where they just dominated for 16, 17 minutes and then lost the fight for the third protector with Storm talent advantages and all of a sudden lost the game in one single instance. So that could still happen there. Here's the Cocoon, this time on Jimmy as they're trying to go for the play. Blaze not moving in from the backline there. Leyline Seal is in and there is a potential kill. Nice save. Talking Tree survives. Cattle making the play, but in comes the move and circling kinda YOLO straight into the team. Comes in from behind a little bit late and just says, boys, I got this. And at the end of the day, he doesn't even get the bunker through. I think, yeah, we did expect this to go a little bit different. Medivh actually completes his quest. Medivh has his quest completed. Anubarak is close, so there's a couple of power spikes coming up. But talking power spikes, as we have the core soon to be attacked, with Keenan now trying to go for the defense. We're having Storm Talents also in play, and that's, of course, bad news for Close to Death. Let's face it, if they lose the Protector here, chances are that they're going to lose the game. This is a best of 5, and so far Close to Death is in the lead. But still, this is going to be a bit rough now. Damage output, 60,000. Well, Greyman has actually taken over the numbers on the red team side with 34k against the 28 that we're seeing from Medivh. Yeah, but 60,000 and 39,000 for Jimmy. So position is taken 60%, and honestly at this point you kinda have to go for it. Even if you don't have Storm Talents against the Protector, it's not gonna be any easier, so it's a bad situation. It's a loss-loss situation for you really, but you have to take a bad fight here. You just can't allow them to get that particular Protector here. You just have to deal with that. So they're moving in, half a level away. Catapults are still closing in on the core, so that might be an issue. So time is also working against you, which is another problem. They're already trying to make their play right here. Bloodsplat is trying to get the connect. Does get it. Hosty is in a bit of trouble. Can they get the insta-kill there? Well, doesn't seem like it. He jumps out again. And there's the move straight against Sylvanas. And she actually dies. Sylvanas is down. It's a 5 versus 4 now. Close to Death is fighting back into this. And they're trying to make the play now again for Zergling. And he still has the bunker, he can still use that, but there's the stun, and that's the kill right there. Bunker got interrupted, and now they have level 20 as well. Like, what the hell? Close to Death all of a sudden with 2 kills against the Storm Talent advantage, brings themselves back into the game. The core hasn't even taken damage yet. Medivh is the one that moved back here immediately, and I don't know, but this is starting to look a bit weird. After we had a dominant performance from the Lost Boys, from, I wanted to say start to finish, but it's not quite true. From pretty much the beginning of the game up to level 18, and then all of a sudden Close to Death decided to, well, put a bit of an effort into it and starts now winning it. This is a fight you don't really want to take. Boys, you have 3 heroes. Yes, one is on the Protector, but that's a 3 versus 3 you're fighting with the Protector about to approach. And now nearly 20 minutes in the game. I mean, the fort is already foregone conclusion that this one is going to fall. The only question that we still have is how far can that Protector go? And as I said before, I've seen third Protectors ending a game for the other team easily. So yep, with this we're having once again the push right there. Medivh actually still sitting towards the base, trying to defend it. That's a big advantage that the Lost Boys still have, taking down all these keeps early on. And that's one of the reasons why the Close to Death is not even pushing for a keep. They're actually instead just trying to elevate some of the pressure from the remaining lanes by taking down all the forts. So they have 2 already eliminated. They move straight to the top for the next one. And there's still catapults down here. And that is, well, they're gonna be defended soon, but the idea here is obviously to get at least a spawn of catapults every 3rd wave, so that there's not that much insane pressure any longer. Then again, with all those guys over here, the Lost Boys decided to just push in a little bit and say like, hello, and make sure that the push is not continuing on top side. But only 2 heroes have actually moved back. Yeah, Protector is still there, so they can take this one down. All of the forts are eliminated, but now the 2 of them have to get the hell out of there. And quickly too. They have 25 seconds, 37%, so they should be okay. But it's an interesting one for sure. So there we go. Let me also look at the damage, by the way. 46,000 for Greyman. Yeah, he's starting to hit his numbers here. Sylvanas with nearly 100 stacks on the Unfurling Shadow. That Protector, by the way, gets just mad value the entire time. 3 forts down, and now they were trying to poke at the wall of the mid-keep. Talking about the middle, another catapult coming in. And we are in Winion territory now. 21 minutes into the game, these things hurt, and they hurt a lot. So there's definitely a good chance to have Winions decide the game in your favor if you can just give them enough time. That's something that Close to Death is definitely going to try to avoid. But there's another fight, and this time we have it over the healing beacon potentially. Keep in mind, Close to Death can't lose a single team fight. If they lose a single team fight where they lose, I mean, let's say 2-3 heroes, it's game over. The only thing that the Lost Boys have to do then is move across the map and take the core down. Always assuming, of course, they themselves don't lose anybody in that encounter. So this is going to be a weird one. We also have now the Indomitable Resolve taken for Jimmy. So a little bit of cooldown reduction that we're going to see there. And Inspire in particular is obviously also pretty great to have that as an added value. But yeah. This is one of the reasons why the camps are so important right now, to make sure that the pressure is not just mounting up the entire time. Fourth objective is spawning mid lane. And it seems a little bit like both of the teams are kind of okay dealing with that. I mean, Medivh is just flying around the entire time. The shitbird is just spying out what's going on there. And yeah, a bit of a medieval NSA. So he knows exactly what's going on. He knows what Garrosh is talking about. He knows where everybody is positioned. He knows when Garrosh is shit-talking someone. That's one of the reasons why Greymane is fletching his teeth the entire time, because he's so angry since Garrosh is talking bad about Greymane, just all non-stop. And Medivh is just passing that on, so they have the information. But that's why there's a little bit of a grudge battle right there. Yeah, with a good taunt there, that might have been the end of an Uberak. Okay. So with this, we're having, again, the move straight in towards the left side. Both of the teams are just aiming for a kill, right? If you isolate someone, if you get a good position, then you might be able to get the kill right there. But there we go. We have already, yep, the ley line is in, catching everybody, and Cattle is alive. Oh, Cattle is down. Yeah, the silence comes into late. The sound barrier. Can they get another one? Talking trees. Oh my god, he's dead too. Blaze is down. That's 3 down the drain, and Sylvanas is gonna get shit on as well. Hosty is annihilated, 9 kills against 9, and now they're going for game. They are trying to take it here. Unbelievable. The 5-man team wipe. And with a 1-0 lead in the series, they go for the 2-0 victory right now. Well, not victory, but they go for the 2-0 lead in the best of 5. And this is a little bit bonkers. I mean, seriously. They got shit on all game long, and then in the late game, they turn it around. This is crazy. What a comeback. A 6.5 out of 10 moment here on Volskaya Foundry, as Close to Death takes game number 2 against the Lost Boys, and they increase their lead in the best of 5 series. GG, and well played, ladies. Game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity, and well, so far this series has been very different from what I expected. Close to Death with a 2-0 lead now against the Lost Boys, who I had personally pegged as the favorite in this series, and it's kind of insane. I mean, seriously, we had the Lost Boys with an insane lead, and then it all turned around against him. So now we're having, well, this continue here with Killusion on Tyrande for Lost Boys, Hosty on Reyna, Cattle on Johanna, Zergling again on Blaze, and Talking Trees on Alarak. Keenan for Close to Death, playing Greymane, Red Robot on Muradin, Cookie Man on Sylvanas, we have Blood Splat on Imperius, and Huberman on Anduin. Yeah, this time it's actually a 4-man towards the top lane. I think they want to get a bit of Sylvanas value here. That's what it seems, at least. The immediate rotation from the bot lane heroes towards the top as that turret is getting burned down. But a nice jet propulsion here. Well done by Zergling. And here comes Cattle. So Imperius finds himself alone at the bot lane right now. And besides that, we're going to see, well, 1 hero rotate down. Interestingly enough, it's actually Johanna who currently makes the rotation there. Fair enough, I expected Blaze to make the move, but instead they're going straight in. Oh, stun into stun, but Anduin with the save. So, a couple of talents that we definitely have to at least briefly mention is, first of all, the ace in the hole. So, sometimes on this map you see the Exterminator, but outside of China that is extremely rare. But it happens. Most of the time, though, especially when you have a couple of slows in your team, you still want to try and rely onto the damage in the team fights that you get with ace in the hole, and don't really focus only on that. Nice escape here by Sylvanas. Since we're having slows through, well, mainly, obviously, Blaze and Johanna, but even more stuns coming in, there's a good chance that you're proccing those 15% extra damage a lot. We're also seeing Muradin in this case, with him straying into third win. I don't really see that talent that often anymore, but it's fantastic if you are having a bit more... Well, you want to sustain yourself a little bit more at the front, then you're trying to make sure that you can always just eat the poke damage. They're trying to go on that. Camp has already been fought over, and that is going to be a 5 versus 4, and therefore the kill against Muradin. The body block attempt against Keenan. They get this one, and they're trying to make the play now also for Cookie Man. And that's a kill. Triple kill, baby. Nicely done. Bit of a checkmate position for Sylvanas there. No matter where she moves, she's down. And that was a really nice setup. So the Lost Boys, again, off to a good start. Doesn't really say anything. We all know how that turned out on game number 2. I can still not get past the fact that they actually lost the second game. I mean, seriously, are you guys shitting me? They took down 2 keeps, obliterated their opponent with, I think, 9 kills to 0. And then as they approach Storm Talons, they start to lose the game. They literally fought with Storm Talons against level 16 and lost 3 or 4 heroes, lost the objective, and then lost every single team fight from there on out. It was insane. And a team wipe towards the end of the game then seals the deal and brings Close to Death into winning position. If you're playing on the Lost Boys, you're currently not really in a good mood. Like, definitely not. And if they want to turn this around, they have to pull off a reverse sweep and win 3 in a row now, which is a pretty tall order on any given day. So I'm not quite sure if they can really pull that off. Muradin with a reverberation here on level 4. So trying to work especially against Jimmy and other auto attackers here. Not going into the double thunderclap just to get the proc with healing static, which might mean that we're going to get the Bronzebeard Rage on level 13 then instead. So with this now set, another approach down through the bottom of the map as we have a 4 versus 4 setup here. And Cookie Man, I mean, he is really on the line with his players here. Once again attacked, and Anduin is trying to keep him alive. Part of the damage equation that we're seeing there. But keep in mind, actually, when we're talking about damage, oftentimes people look at a frontliner like Imperius and they're saying like, where's the damage? Imperius is actually really strong when it comes to the damage output. Oftentimes he is leading the charts together with someone else. So it's still one of the misconceptions that some people have, that with 3 melees, even if those melees are considered tanks, you are lacking damage, and depending on the setup that can be the case, but a lot of these frontliners do a lot of work. Here comes the setup again, and Talking Trees goes down. Nice aggression. They still have to survive this now though, because it turns against them within a flash. So Bloodspell is trying to get away, the lunge already missing, and therefore it can't even get out. Alarak is the only one that died, and Bloodsplat is now getting fully body blocked here. There's another stun, and that's a dead Imperius. Imperius is already down, but so far the halftime show is at least looking pretty good for Close to Death, as they're starting to win that battle at least. With this now, we're having Sylvanas still poking. Pew, 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 pew. And the wave just to get out there. Alright, so Cookie Man already rushing around here. And so far actually doing pretty well. I mean, again, you look at the Immortal and they are winning that battle quite handily. The problem is that when you're looking at experience, that's a very different story. The entire level lead for the Lost Boys, and early level 7 talents are fantastic if you're trying to take your opponent down. That's a big power spike. Nice connect with Imperius here. And now obviously the defensive position. Alarak, well, he also got a good combo through, but they're trying to get the play in against Keenan, and Keenan is low, and Keenan gets stunned, and Keenan dies. The Wolf is taken down again, and Red Robot is also on the run. But looking at that Immortal, it's not looking too healthy here. Oh, Muradin also getting wrecked. Alright, the Dwarf is down. Yep. Pedo Muradin is eliminated. Was a little bit too friendly to the kids on the other side, and someone took offense at that, and I can totally understand that. I mean, that skin is just creepy. And, well, yeah, still losing the objective, though. It's kind of to be expected, honestly, even without the level 7 talent. It's just a matter of fact right there. So yeah, the top lane is going to be pushed. We have our little Candy King back to action here. Wanna have some candy? But he has been poked down pretty quickly here in the last few fights, despite the fact that he has, of course, his level 1 that helps him with the sustainability here. Level 7, but still a level advantage. 6 kills against 1, that helps a lot. So now, with the range, they're going to get some damage in. I doubt that they're going to get the 4. They shouldn't be able to do so. So, with this, they're starting to jump in again. Muradin already coming in from the side, yielding his candy bar. I mean, I always knew that this bad boy had a bit of a sweet tooth, but now he's overdoing it. Cattle. Ooh, the iron skin is still there. Greyman, on the other hand, yeah, well, he has the hots for Tyrande, apparently, and tries to get the kill there, but Collusion is paying attention. And I stand corrected. It seems like they're getting this fort after all. Cattle is also about to get wrecked, so he needs to be careful. Even Blaze moved up to the top side since he realized that his team is in trouble. Cattle with another clutch iron skin here. Stormbolt against Blaze, and Zergling is down. Well, gotta admit, I didn't see this one coming. Close to death with a lot more value than I expected. Granted, they have Sylvanas, so they can empower this push, but still, that was more than I thought they would be able to pull off here. Hosty nearly dying too, and damn son, I mean, close to death, they want the 3-0, don't they? They are going in with massive damage right now. It's interesting that they only got 2 kills so far, because when you look at that last fight, it really feels like they have a lot more aggression coming here than their opponent. But as it stands, we are seeing them at least closing the experience gap between the two teams. The Wizened Duelist on level 7 for Greymane, so they're definitely trying to get even more damage through with him. So, well, let's see. Top side, that's where we're currently having Keenan, Cookieman, and Huberman taking another camp. And it's level 10s now. Again, as the last Immortal started, it really felt a little bit like Lost Boys might get the level 10 just in time for Immortal number 2 and deny to their opponent through heroic abilities. But now, since Close to Death was able to take the fort, able to take a lot of experience and even a kill, it really seems more and more like it's going to be an even battle no matter what. And I think that's exactly what we have to prepare for here. So, level 10 abilities any second. Blood Splat is currently trying to find out what's happening here. Can start to move away. Alright. There's no 10 yet. Need to be a little bit cautious. Blaze, by the way, has a freebie topside. Okay. Ult already thrown out by Tyrande. Fair enough. Zoning them out a little bit and allowing them to go through the entire wall, which empowers the push with a double camp now as well. Blaze pushed out the top lane. That's an entire double wave lost to the opponent. Yeah, checks out what's happening over there. It's not going to linger around for too long. But the rest of the team is now moving in too. And they're already trying to go for the camp, but that's a tiny little bit too late. 6 kills against 2. Pressure at the top lane. That nearly takes the fort down, by the way. And now the pressure at the bottom of the map. So that little engage with only Blaze topside has actually yielded a lot of value for the Lost Boys. Yes, it was great for them. It's a race, and right now the blue team is winning the halftime show at least. You still have to deal with the Shaman camp at some point, but they have a bit more time because the top fort is already down, so that kind of helps, if you so want. Bunker is down, alright, they're trying to go for the save here. Wait, what? Alright, Johanna apparently cattle fat fingering his mouse buttons there and not entering the bunker, getting completely wrecked in this one. And they're getting a second kill. Close to Death is taking these kills now wherever they want them. And it just feels like there's no objective that the Lost Boys can win. They got a great setup heading into the objective, but now the bot lane is going to be defended, and it seems like the halftime show is not an indication of who wins objective number 2. It seems to be the Close Death once again. They're going in, they're burning this one down, and now they're going to try and attack the bot lane. It's a little bit insane, honestly. I don't know what to say here. Every single time that I feel like Close to Death finally gets their shit together and is able to establish a bit of a dominant position, Close to Death comes in and takes them apart. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. I mean, they dominated the beginning again in this game, and then especially around objective number 2, and then this happens. So, yeah. It's kind of insane. 26,000 damage for Sylvanas, 27,000 for Jimmy. Jimmy! Now, but still, they have at least a Starfall, so they should be able to defend this a little bit easier. But, well, at least Jimmy doesn't have his ult yet. Here comes the Stormbolt. Stacks acquired again. Where's the ult of Sylvanas? There's the Light Bomb play as they're starting to move in, trying to make the play here. Alarak with the completion of the quest, and they get the kill against Alarak just as he does that. Greymane falls too, though. That might change the dynamic here a little bit. So now again the jump forwards, especially Cookieman is super aggressive. Nice jet propulsion. That was a good setup. Muradin is already jumping out. Blaze is already low too, but they should be able to burn this one down now. But despite the fact that they still have the lead in kills, they are now far behind when it comes to structures. There's the Hyperion that should shut at least this aggression down. So yeah, defensive one. And well, they're trying to chase this even a little bit more. Now, experience is still fairly close. We have 13 against 12, but that's going to change in a second or two, and then we have 13 talents on both sides, especially with Blaze now defending the top lane easily at that. Still interesting to see, though, that we are having a situation in which we have 20 stacks now on Muradin Stormbolt, so he's going to have that for the next very likely for the next objective too. And yeah, I mean, Lost Boys, they're losing ground. And quite a bit of that. And they're 0-2. This is the best of 5. So if they lose here, it's a 3-0 victory on map in the first match for them in the Division S playoffs for North America. That would not really be the start that they're hoping for here. So with this said, we're having still every... well, there's a freebie fort at the top lane. No, we're gonna take that. Alright. Freebie! Fort goes down, and that... Boys? Can someone kill this fucking fort? Alright, the camp is gonna take care of that. They still have to defend the bot lane, so I can understand the sentiment of moving back here with Sylvanas pushing in. But yeah, the fort falls, and that could be a kill! Cookie Man! Ah, this is how the cookie crumbles. Alarak, that little cookie monster. Cookie, 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 cookie. Takes Sylvanas down, and they go for the kill against Imperius. Double kill, just as the objective is about to spawn. So far, so good. And then triple. The wolf is down too. Okay, this is a bit more what we've been talking about at the beginning of the game. At least Lost Boys are showing that they have a bit of fight left in them. So they're going to try and take the objective. The halftime show is more or less free. And now with Red Robot at the top lane defending, they also have vision. So they know that there's nobody even attempting to get some counter pressure in. At least not for the halftime show. And there we go. Big aggression there. Camp is taken on the left side, and this should at least be that. Down to the bottom of the map though, that's the next question. Sylvanas is pushing this out. 15 versus 15 in a few minutes. But now it's coming down to the team fight again. 5 versus 5. A lot of heroics are actually up for the Lost Boys at least. They're trying to get even the kill against Muradin. Gets sucked out with the telekinesis out of the Tyrande stun. Here comes the light bomb. And once again, the aggression. Good Hyperion there too. Nice damage. But they're still moving through that. Red Robot with the chase against Alarak. And they're going again for Sylvanas. Talking Trees is low, but the first one to die is the Crybaby. And when it's down, Hosty with another attempted kill against Greymane, and he is toast as well. They're going for Imperius, and that's another kill, and all of a sudden this is looking completely different. They get the counter kill at least against Reyna, but that's all that they can accomplish for now, and that should be a victory on the objective. The bottom camp is still pushing, and 16 is going to be there soon as well. Nicely done. The Lost Boys finally starting to arrive in this series. Well, let's wait with that statement, I would say. Again, we had a similar situation in game number 2. Actually, we had them in a much better position in game number 2, and then they lost it in the late game. If Close to Death can turn it around again later on, that would be fantastic for them. Delaying the objective a little bit to give Jimmy a bit more time to arrive at the scene of the crime. So yeah, good job by them. That's a really, really smart play here. Just slowing that down, finally taking it, and now Jimmy is back to business. 16 talents are ready for them too. And that is a chance to make the plays here. So down to the bottom of the map, that's where the Immortal is going to travel now. Always towards the lane that got pushed the least. Bronzebeard Rage, by the way, I haven't really pointed out yet, but I talked about it earlier. It's likely going to be his level 13 talent, considering the build that he's going for here. The fort is already about to fall, and that is a 100% shield Immortal, by the way. So we are very likely going to talk keep here. 16 talents now on both sides. It gives us enough focus. Immediate Hyperion. Already zoning them out. Basically, this is the move that tells you get the fuck back behind your wall. Just get the hell out of here. And that's exactly what we're seeing. They also still have the Starfall that they can use there too to zone them out even more, and I think that's going to come into play in just a second. That Immortal still does damage, and here comes the Light Bomb aggression with Muradin. Bunk on the ground. Starfall is in. A bit better positioning, but they're sucking them back into it, and that's a kill against Greymane. Greymane dead, and they want more. They're going to get the keep for sure. That one's a given. The question is how much more can they get now? Oh, that was a bad jump from Muradin, but it seems like he's going to survive at least this one. Circling down on Blaze, so he gets eliminated. Collusion is also on the run, and Tyrande has trouble here, but gets the stun through. That might just save a good penetrating round from Hosty. That was literally the saving grace for Tyrande. And now with the Immortal already moving straight over to the core, they're going to try and take this down, especially since the keep topside has now also fallen to the camp. They're trying to burn the core down and put a point onto the scoreboard for their team, and they should be able to pull that off easily. Imperius is dead, and there's just too much damage available. The Lost Boys finally with a win in this series, in this best of 5, as they take the victory on Battlefield of Eternity against Close to Death. Game number 4, everyone. The Lost Boys. They found a way to come back into this series. At least bring it to a 4th map. So now we have Infernal Shrines. And on the left side, Killusion on Alex Straza, Zergling on Falstad, Cattle on Diablo, Hosty on Medivh, and we have Jaina, played by Talking Trees. Okay. Interesting setup, say the least here. On the right side of the map, Close to Death with Keenan on Reyna, Bloodsplat on Rexa, Cookie Man on Malthael, Red Robot on Main Tank Uther, and Huberman on Ana. There is a saying in esports, never go full NA, and well, at this point in time, Close to Death decided that they want to go full North America with their composition. So, screw main tanks, we don't need that shit, we go Uther instead. As we've seen multiple times now in the NA scene, and together with that they have Ana too. And the only question is really, how far can they go with this? I mean, again, it is the North American touch that we're now seeing with the composition here. In terms of talents that we're having, we actually see on level 1 the Portal Mastery taken here. Okay, so we'll see how that works out for him. Stacks already coming in. Against Misha you can obviously stack a little bit faster as well. Rexa has taken the top lane. And that bad boy could have a huge impact on this one. But I'm honestly a little bit more interested in this Ana and Uther duo that we're seeing here. So the man with the holy book already running around here. Still, Diablo the only melee on the other team. So, well, you have Alex Straza with the Dragon Queen that helps you on the shrine control. But outside of that, they're relying heavily on the double support. Well, we're calling it Deep, the second support here, when it comes to the action. So, as weird as the comp might actually look at the start, especially the factor around Alex Straza could really help them. And of course the quick engagers with Medivh is another one. You have a ley line into Apocalypse combo if you want to try and go for the wombo setup here. And yeah, they could definitely try and make that happen. The problem is also that I'm not quite sure how Cookie Man is going to play this. Great skin, by the way, from Malthael. This is absolutely one of the best these days. But I'm not 100% certain how he's going to play this, because traditionally you would see last rights, especially against Diablo. But then again, you have a Medivh against you that can ruin your day immediately with his setups. So I'm not quite sure if he might go into the Tormented Soul instead. Tormented Soul is not something that we see a lot, but we actually see it. At least on the European side, you have every now and then a composition that relies on it heavily. And with a double support, it's oftentimes very, very difficult to take Malthael down. So he can absolutely murder it. And honestly, having a nano boost on that bad boy when he goes into Tormented Soul isn't bad either. So there's definitely a chance that we're going to see a deviation away from the norm in terms of heroic abilities. Well, with that as well, let's have a bit of a look there. Yeah, Cookie Man is already trying to make his play. And we're starting to make the play for Cookie Man, and as Cattle comes in, it's a 4-man all of a sudden. Keenan comes in too and is like, boys, I'm helping. The portal into the back line. Huberman a bit in trouble. And, well, there we go. Starting to get the first kills in, or do they? Well, Dibbles is in trouble. They're still fighting for the camp. That's still not been taken. Rexa, the only one who's not part of the deal here. And they're starting to move straight down to get maybe another kill. Nah, Ana says nope. And we still have 0 kills in the game, so instead it's a camp claimed. But we're going into the first shrine here in just a moment, so this is going to be the one that we have to check out for. So with this, we're now having, well, down to the bottom, most of the attention focusing on it, whereas Bloodsplat at the top side is currently trying to do get a little bit more damage out, push the lane out, push it straight into the towers. Rotations are there as both of the teams are focusing on the first Punisher now. And with this, we're now having the focus with, well, Jimmy, and there's actually quite a few heroes that are still missing there. The double support is obviously a massive amount of sustain right now, and they're trying to put that to the test, but the AoE is firmly in the hands of the Lost Boys. But they are not really getting they're not really getting any kind of like lockdown onto that shrine. They're not having position or anything. There comes the Dragon Queen as they're trying to deny the Protector, the Punisher, to their opponent. 24 against 13 is what we're seeing right now. It's a pretty early Dragon Queen though, but they're finally taking the position here and they're trying to go for Cookie Man. The portal comes in again. They're making the play for the back line, but they can't get that kill. Dibbles charging out. Nicely done by Cattle, making sure that he's not isolated from the rest of the team. 29 against 25 stacks though. It's a tight battle for the first objective. Not gonna lie here. Trying to make the play for Diablo again, and as I said before, him being the only melee puts him into a position where he's currently getting bullied all the time, and this should be a protector for Punisher for Close to Death, and they're getting it. Nicely done. So with that, we're now having them in a pretty sweet spot where they can start to push through the mid lane. maybe even get that early level 7 and try and go for the fort here. Highly doubt it that they can take it down. But, well, Cookie Man is active here. Has, by the way, gone into the Black Harvest. As I said before, Tormented Souls with another boost. Definitely possible there. Ana is at the bot lane. Wave clear Ana! Yeah, that's the problem when you're playing this setup and you're trying to get mid lane value from the Punisher. You have to send someone down to the bottom of the map to get the experience there, and if nobody else is left, then you end up with Ana trying to push the lane out. So that's usually not really a win. Khaldor gets saved by the portal. Does he though? Red Robot is trying to move in with the stun, but he can't connect that. It's all going to be on Dibble, seriously. I mean, he is the punching ball of close to death here the entire time. And yeah, in comes the shield again, and Khaldor just survives. Has gone into Souls to the Flame and also into the Internal Flames here, so a bit more of a focus with this. We're having on level 1 the Devils do, so at this point really heavily playing around the globes. And he has to do whatever he can to stay alive in these fights. And an early pre-tap on the Fountain with this particular talent will help him for those fights around the objective as well. Keep in mind, being the only melee means that your opponent is going to focus on you whenever they have a chance. And having only one melee hero here is going to make it very difficult for Khaldor to survive. It's literally on Medivh to focus him with shields, portals the entire time. And that might be tough in the long run. Once that Khaldor is down, the backline is open and you can't really afford that. So top side, Falstad is getting a bit of global value. I mean, we're obviously seeing Zergling with the Wingman on level 1. But he went into a full build with the Lightning Rod focus. Even the charged up on level 7. So didn't go into Boomerang, which we oftentimes see with this particular build as a hybrid. And the earlier wave clear helps you also to get more value out of your global ability. And he straight went into a full Lightning Rod build with this one. Also, Hunter-Gatherer with 12 stacks now for Rexa, which means that we're soon going to have extra armor for him and Misha. At the same time, just trying to go straight in for that bottom battle. The level 10 abilities, and there it is, as expected. Tormented Souls. Nano boost on the Tormented Souls, and he is going to be an absolute monster. With a double support, you can literally wreck an opponent's army within seconds, and that's really what they have to somehow try and play against and play out there. Only question that is still remaining is what exactly we're seeing from the Lost Boys on level 10, because as I said before, there's wombo potential here for them if they go into Leyline and Apoc, but it is the Lightning Breath instead. So trying to play around the Lightning Breath, that helps them also to get a better position there on the Shrine. Oh, Hosty goes down. Had the quest completed on the other hand, so Medivh doesn't lose the stacks. There's the Gust straight into the turret. They're trying to force the fight here, but immediately Cookie Man going for the old no nano boost just yet on the other hand. That didn't really work out for them. Didn't really expect that Gust though, but here comes the completed quest for Malthael, and they're still moving away without losing a single hero. So that Gust didn't quite work the way that they intended to. We're also having a bit more love for Misha than we traditionally see. The Bestial Wrath taken over the Boars. I'm not going to be unleashed in this game at least. A little bit weird, to be honest. I honestly expected them to go into Unleash the Boars just simply because they can lock heroes down into the Hyperion and into Malthael's attacks a little bit more efficiently. The one thing that you have to worry about is obviously that once Malthael goes into the Tormented Souls, that he gets gusted away. Inevitable End can play against that, but he doesn't have that yet. He has to wait until 13 for this. There's the ley line. They somehow get some damage against this. Doesn't really feel like it. Hosty's trying to get the damage in from the backline. They're making the play for Keenan, and Keenan goes down, but the bird is also dead. A kill for a kill here, and close to death. If they win here, they take the game. If they take the game, they take the series. And they're trying to push through the bot lane at this point. Malthael, Jaina actually isolated. Cattle also a little bit low, and Hosty has his hands full trying to save everybody. Waiting for the cooldowns here. Talking trees, Cattle, they're trying to go for the kill. 31 against 30 stacks. Misha down. Can they actually turn that around? I don't really think so, but they're trying. 38, and there is another Punisher one. Lightning Breath used again. Oh, Cattle survives. Devils do helping out there. They got one of the globes, and thanks to the level 1 talent, he's able to stay in play. Now they get the kill against Falstad again, the bird. The bird flying in and immediately getting killed again, so that did not last long. I mean, he came back and immediately gets popped like a pimple there. Ends up in the KFC bucket once again. That was a bit of a failed stat move right there, and that eliminates the fort at the bot lane already, and they're obviously trying to focus down the fort in the middle now too. Things are not looking pretty for the Lost Boys here, and again, they are behind in this best of 5. If they lose the map, they lose the series. So, Falstad pretty much came in, said like, okay, this is garbage, I don't like it here, I want to go back to the Nexus, and just committed Sudoku right away. And yeah, that gets his wish granted. 13 is there. No inevitable end. Soul Siphon instead. Now again, this is obviously for the build that they're going for the more effective talent. The only thing that I'm worried about is that he can now be simply gusted away whenever he activates the his ult. So that's something that Falstad can have a very, very big impact. He can actually start to try and go straight in and make the play here with a gust. Once that he sees that Malthael activates his ult, has to play a little bit around this, and we'll see how exactly that works out. Alright, Misha also, there's again, as I start going, and there is the ley line, right as we are seeing the nano boost on Malthael. And Malthael is jumping in. Again, the push, Falstad gusts everybody out, and they're trying to focus down Malthael, and he goes down. Malthael goes down, and that's that. So a quick kill, 13 versus 13 talents now. And keep in mind that the Lost Boys actually won that fight without having a 13. They just got it through the kill. No Divine Shield. Because, well, Uther originally obviously wanted to use it onto Malthael, but since the Gust isolated him, there was just no chance for them to get that done. So here comes the Hunter-Gatherer. The completion gives them the extra armor. Keenan is sitting up at the top side and going for the camp. But we have 3 kills against 3 kills, 13 against 13. The main difference is really in structures. 2 forts have been taken out already. So, in the middle of the map, our 3-man is trying to see if they can maybe steal another one of these camps away. And that's exactly what they're headed for. Also having in terms of damage output, Malthael with 47,000. Yep. Vision granted. Medivh on 32,000, by the way. So, yep, getting the damage in as well. And let's see, what else do we have right now? I mean, Zergling still has the global. This is still one of the big advantages that he has here. If he can play around the global, then they might be able to just play the macro game later on in the game. As long as he doesn't die there. I mean, he had a couple of really aggressive moves that didn't quite pan out for him, as we've seen earlier. But still. With the build that we're seeing for Rek'Sai, it's the Bird of Prey into the Taking Flight here, and then straight into the aspect of the Hawk. So a massive, massive focus into that talent tree here, which we usually don't see from Rek'Sai, at least not on the European side. Falstad is continuing the Lightning Rod build. And with now a slight lead in experience, Close to Death is making the play for the bot lane. Using the Hyperion, trying to break through here. Get locked into the fight though, through a ley line. Nano Boost is going to be in play in just a second. Tormented Soul, Nano Boost, and zip! There comes the Gust. Slowing that down a little bit, and as long as Malthael can wreck them, they should be fine here. And that's a lot of cooldowns burned on both sides, as they're still looking to see if they can maybe start that battle. And a nice portal might just be enough for Diablo to catch hold of someone. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. There's the cleanse already on Bloodsplat to make sure that Diablo can't connect anything. And that worked out for them. Malthael, as Misha dies, has taken the shrine at the top and is saying, boys, I'm already getting a bit of a head start here. Don't mind me. The problem for the Lost Boys is that they are not that close on 16. Alright, Lightning Breath is already being used. They're isolating Cookie Man, at least they're trying to. Can he get the flip in? And they're going again for the Cookie. Cookie, 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 Cookie. And down goes Malthael, but Jaina has fallen in the back line. 16 talents are now ready for Close to Death. That gives them a bit of a power spike, especially with the Benediction for Uther. Now the portals, on the other hand, allow them to go into the back line. And guess what? Keenan does not like that. He goes down, and the Dragon Queen is still active. And with that, they have a chance to finally go for a Punisher here, despite the fact that they were down a talent during most of this fight. So, yep, taking the lead now, 18-19 against 10. Looking pretty solid here. The only one that hasn't taken 16 yet on the red team side is Malthael, or was Malthael, has taken it too by now. We have the Draconic Discipline taken, so Dragon Queen is going to be pretty happy about this. The Overpowering Nightmare. Okay, so a bit of a different build again. Since we're having Hellfire also taken level 13, we're not seeing Domination from Cattle, so he's not going to go for those double stuns into the wall. Diablo needs to be a bit more careful with this one too, and they really need to get those last 3 hits in. Yeah, trying to make the play here, but Misha is the one that gets attacked, as it seems. And obviously the Lost Boys are not going to pass up on this particular Punisher here. So, yeah, with that, they're starting to go straight in again. They're having, well, into the mid lane, I mean. So they're going to try and pull this now off with a stable portal also taken there, which is actually pretty awesome, because now you can just generate that constant threat into the backline that you're really looking for here. Again, the attack at the front. Red Robot is already in trouble, still has the Divine Shield, hasn't used it yet. Hyperion comes out, there's the Gust as the Tormented Souls gets activated, and they're going in for the potential kill against Uther. Divine Shield saves him, but the Punisher wants a piece of the action as he jumps straight onto Rexa, and they're pushing them back. It's portal time, baby. They're everywhere here, and they're trying to make their play for Ana, and Ana is down. She's not the only one that's falling here. The fort is going to drop too. The problem is that down at the bottom of the map we have now double catapults on the keep, and this could still be a very bad trade for the Lost Boys, as they are in danger of losing the bottom lane keep. And thanks to those 2 catapults, that's pretty much a given, as this is going to be close. Having still the aggression here in the middle with a 5 versus 4, the Lost Boys are hoping to get more done, maybe stagger death and go for the keep itself, but they can't. The bot lane still safe for now, but the question is for how much longer, because yeah, this one is gonna fall, but again, it's close. A little bit too close for comfort. 6 kills against 4, and you have to remember in these situations that the Lost Boys are on their last leg. They need a reverse sweep. They have done the first step and they've won game number 3, but can they win the 4th one as well? They're going for Cookie Man again, trying to get the cookies here. Cattle is trying to lock him down. The portal is there. Keenan, good opportunity to go for him, but they go for the cookie again. Nano boost, Tormented Souls, and the Gust. Wah, wah. That's why I personally expected the inevitable end to be taken. Again, great talent, Soul Siphon, fantastic. Not bad at all, but it doesn't really help you when you can't stay close to them, and the Mighty Gust could be dodged out with the inevitable end, and they don't have it here. So they go for Cookie Man once more. And here comes the Lightning Breath as Cattle is zoning everybody out. Top lane fort, by the way, is getting wrecked by the minion wave that was escorted in. So does the Fountain, so both of them are going to fall here. And with the help of Medivh, they could try and see if they can maybe drop another portal and chase them down even more. So another cool thing, obviously, at this point is that we still have... I think Cattle hasn't died yet, did he? I mean, again, I highlighted early on how amazing his level 1 talent is on this map and for these fights. He gets the support from Alexstrasza and from Medivh, and at the same time you just get those globes in the entire time, and every single time a globe gets hit, you get insane amount of value. I mean, seriously, you're pre-tapping the Fountain for a fight and you pretty much have a double hit point pool. You're getting a regeneration globe and you're looking at a very solid situation there as well. And that literally saved his life several times now during those fights over the objective, especially when the Punisher spawns and the 2 globes are being procced there as well. So they're trying to make the play again. And this time they're going once more for Malthael. But so far, nothing really being forced here. Top lane is still pushing slightly, so there's nothing really that's threatening the keep anytime soon, but it's definitely a factor in the long run. 7 kills against 4 for now. And, well, the Lost Boys are starting to look a little bit better. They're ahead. But can they actually do something here in regards to forcing game number 5? That's the bigger question. It's honestly a bit insane. Close to Death in the late game in particular has just absolutely excelled on most maps. Like, let's ignore map 3 for just a second. But what they pulled off in game number 2 is just insanity. Seriously. That was just crazy that they were able to win this. And here comes the burden. As I said before, the macro aspect of the game is now starting to get massively enhanced, because Zergling, as the map opens up and forts are taken down, can use his global. And that's exactly what he does. Pushes these lanes out, prepares for the camp that they have at the top side, and can now fly in. Now he needs to be a little bit more careful with the flies than he has previously been. We all remember that little Sudoku moment that he had earlier. But this time they get the good setup. He has the Divine Shield early on, but the Gust still hits the rest of the team. And now Cookie Man is isolated. And the ley line continues that trend, so they're trying to make the play for him. And here comes the Retreat Hyperion. But level 20 is finally there for the Lost Boys. So they're getting the Storm Talent advantage once more. And Diablo straight in for the Lord of Terror. He wants to be a little bit terrifying here. And so far he's definitely had that reputation. Nice ball stun. Only against Misha though. Top lane still pushing, and that's exactly where we're seeing that camp now getting value and threatening the keep. Here comes Alexstrasza again on Ruby Wings being used there right away. And it's Dragon Queen time. They're still fighting over this particular one. It's close. There's the cleanse again, Cookie Man. And they're still trying to get the kill. Are now in a nano boost. And Cookie. Malthael is down. So is Misha. And the keep up at the top lane is also going to fall. It's just a matter of time here. Keenan gets dropped too. And now we're seeing the Lost Boys with momentum in this game. All of a sudden, they're able to get a lot more done here. And with the Arcane Punisher as the keep topside falls, they're going to try and push through a little bit harder. Actually, with 2 heroes down and Medivh dropping portals, they're starting to go for the core here. Yep, they're speeding the entire rotation up and they're saying, you know what, boys? Let that Punisher get the bot lane. We don't give a shit. We go for the core right away and force game number 5. Let's make it happen. They're trying to make the play for Red Robot already. They're also isolating Ana here. And it looks like at least Uther is going to have a problem here. Already using his ult. Bot lane fort has been destroyed. And now they can make the play. Maltha is going to be back in 10 seconds though. So you got to be a bit careful here with this. Caution definitely advised. Yeah, there comes Red Robot as he starts to move in. Shields are nearly down. Bot lane is getting attacked. But they have to back off for now. Koa's even lost a couple of hit points, but they don't really want to fight in a 5 versus 5. There's level 20 on both sides now, which gives us the Bulwark. So that's going to be another advantage for Malthael, sorry. As he's going to try and get the value. Also having at the same time for our bad boy, the No One Can Stop Death. Well, but Uther actually dies. Doesn't have redemption, so that's going to be the end of him. Cookie Man is trying to turn the fight around here. The Gust comes in. Can they isolate him again? Here comes the Hyperion as well. Great move, but Malthael is down. It's Cookie time once again as the Dragon Queen appears on the map. The keep at the bot lane has fallen as the Punisher is joining the party and they are going straight in. And guys, they actually make it happen. We're going to see game 5. Lost Boys win 2 in a row and they have a chance to go for the reverse sweep here in the first best of 5 series at the Division S North America playoffs. Crazy setup, and the Lost Boys, they take down Close to Death on Infernal Shrines. Nicely done as we are heading straight into game number 5. Game number 5, ladies! The Lost Boys have actually managed to push Close to Death to the limit, and we have final map of the series. And, well, I said it before, Close to Death, they went full NA in game number 4, and apparently they wanted to go a little bit more full NA in game number 5. We have a Lily! But, well, let's actually introduce the blue team first. The Lost Boys with host Dion Hanzo, Collusion on Karazim, Zergling on Illidan, Talking Trees on Abathar, and Cattle on Murden. Alright, we're going ham, boys. On the right side of the map, Keenan on Falstad, Bloodsplat on Cassia, Cookie Man on Samuro, and we're having Red Robot on Nubarak. And at this point also, Huberman on Lily. Someone is looking for an adventure here, let's just put it like that. And I'm pretty sure no matter how this game ends, it is going to be an adventure. So Close to Death is pretty much doing what a lot of people in Quick Match do. Well, not quite Quick Match, but in Storm League on Plastic level. They're seeing an Illidan on the other side, and their immediate reaction is, we need blinds! We need blinds! And they go for Cassia and for Lily immediately. Usually that backfires pretty hard, because that's not quite how you deal with Illidan. Don't get me wrong, blinds against Illidan are nice. But normally it backfires pretty hard when you see a team trying to hard counter anything through picks in a draft, because they're neglecting other aspects of the composition, and that is what comes back to bite them in the ass. But again, it might work out, so I have no idea. Anything's possible here. We're in North America after all. So there's a chance that they can pull this off. For now, we're having Zergling dying against Cookie Man. Cookie. Our little cookie monster is going straight for the solo kill. That was a nice one. Well done. Illidan already down. That didn't really work for him. Okay. And let's see what we're going to get from the camps down at the bottom of the map. The 4-man so far starting to rage on here and trying to make the plays. But I kind of like that. The kill against Illidan, that's definitely something that he didn't expect there. I didn't expect that either. The Avatar composition, by the way, or at least the build going straight into the Illidan support with a pressurized glance here that has insane synergy with level 13 talents in particular that we're going to see later on. So then we're having the Soma Transference, get a little bit more value out of that. Also, on level 1, we are seeing for Murden his block talent. up to the top lane. Illidan was actually trying to go for the cam. Abathur is obviously offsetting this little combo quite a bit with his power spike, but Keenan comes in with a global, and Keenan, oh, Keenan gets away, and circling goes down. Yeah, not even Abathur can deal with this one. Okay, so that didn't quite work out the way that they were hoping for. At the same time, we're having, again, a little play here around the middle where the rotation is still ongoing. Abathur, obviously, with a focus on the top lane, had to kind of abandon this foreman here. But we still have one pumpkin camp for another taken. And with this one, we're now having our little setup with 2 kills against 0 in favor of Close to Death as the triple altar is spawning. We're also having now the Adrenal Overlord, which gives more and more power to Illidan as the game continues. And Illidan together with Abathur is just a force to be reckoned with. I mean, this is old school. It's not the only hero, by the way, that really benefits from a symbiote. We have Kharazim in play with this too, and Muradin. Both of them are doing fantastic with that support here. Our little panda, in the meantime, has gone for the Wind Serpent on level 1. And, well, at the same time, we have Hindering Winds taken. So it's all about the Illidan focus here. 2 altars against 1. Traditional setup. In this case, the slight lead for Close to Death. And honestly, if I was on their team, I would be a little bit tilted right now. We have a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series, and then your opponent starts to turn things around and just simply drops 2 games. And is close to getting the reverse sweep. And that's really not a spot you want to be into. Pulling a reverse sweep off is just absolutely crazy, and you never want to be on the receiving end of one of these. It's just absolutely demoralizing as you're heading into the tournament. So Close to Death is going to do whatever they can to continue running through the winner bracket here by taking down their opponent. Top side, Illidan, still hoping to get some assistance from Abathur to go up against Cookie Man here. We're having at the bottom of the map, Keenan coming in from the side. Keenan in a lot of trouble. I mean, again, he has some aggressive plays, and he's showcasing that again. Also, talking about aggression, we're having for him, actually, a bit of a different build here with the updraft. Again, the solo kill! Yeah, even with the Abathur help that occasionally comes through, Illidan is just too far out against Cookie Man, and Samuro is currently murdering that top lane. This is not really a good position to be in for the Lost Boys. An interesting build again that we're seeing now for Falstad. Charged up on level 7, no boomerang, but updraft taken so that he can escape from Illidan a little bit more easily. But thanks to the global in form of Falstad and then also the added power on the map, on the macro level at least, from Samuro, we're now having the top lane heavily attacked. There's the single altar spawning in the next rotation. Abathur has Mule that helps them too. But we'll kind of find out what's going to be happening here once level 10 comes in, because Metamorphosis or Hunt, that's going to be the question. And with a global focus, I could definitely see Hunt coming in now too. But there's the fight, 7 against 8, so both of them on the even talents. They're trying to make the play for Cassia this time. Illidan has to be careful and is isolated completely. Everybody else is focusing on Samuro, and that's the end of Illidan again. I mean, this is taking quick match character. 4 deaths on Illidan. Every single death that we're seeing on the side of the Lost Boys has been against the melee assassin. And Lily is channeling the altar through, and that drops the Lost Boys down to 28% or 28 points on the core. Things so far are not really looking great for the Lost Boys. They have a pretty... I mean, I don't want to call this a standard comp. It definitely isn't, not with Illidan. But it's definitely a comp that is a lot more normal than what we're seeing on the other side with the Lily factor coming in. So, yeah, Illidan so far not having the best day. Reflexive block after the friend of foe. Having Muradin jumping in, they're trying to go for... Oh my god, he missed the Stormbolt. Oh, but they still get the kill. Okay, so Zamura is down. They have the first kill. Stormbolt might have missed, but they still got the kill, which is the more important part. And now they have the first one on the board here. Cattle with a zoning Stormbolt, one after another. Zones them out quite nicely. Has also obviously acquired vision, so that Illidan knew that he needed to back off here. Went really deep and said like, alright guys, I'm back. Yeah. We have level 10 abilities now for Close to Death, and that gives us, for Lily, the Jug of 1,000 Cups. We have also the Illusion Master. And yeah, so you never want to go full Glorong when you're playing Samuro and go into the Blade Storm here, so I'm very happy that we're actually seeing the Illusion Master taken. There's the Stormbolt, and this time it actually connects, so they get a bit of value in. Activating the boss too, who immediately focuses on the bug as well. Sees the little cockroach there and says like, not on my watch, not happening. So yeah, now a single altar again at the bottom of the map. And with both the teams on level 7, we have now Metamorphosis for Illidan, so not going into the global, not going into the hunt. More survivability for him and the ability to dodge out. But Haymaker! Alright, Cattle is going for Haymaker. I mean, he likes to go for that talent, but I wouldn't have expected it in this game. It's map number 5 after all. And he goes Haymaker over... I mean, again, you can make a couple of nice plays with Haymaker. Just imagine Lily, for example, going for her ult. If he jumps in and Haymakers her, then that's the end of that immediately. But there's the Cocoon already on the ground. Illidan with the Metamorphosis. Jumps in, gets immediately focused again, and is able to jump out. The arrows connecting as Hanzo is using the ult. Lily, straight in. The kill against Samuro. And, of course, the interrupted attempt against Red Robot. And it's too late. He gets the channel, and the core will go down to 24%. They're trying for a second kill, especially against Keenan on the bird, but they can't quite get it. They got the kill against Samuro, but they're just not able to get anything else done here yet. Unfortunate for them. So in the meantime, we have in the mid lane Red Robot trying to take the experience again. Yeah, pretty close. I mean, it's 11 versus 11, 2 kills against 4 right now, so the Lost Boys are able to get some more pressure in. But the Abathur factor has so far not really panned out. 13 is for me personally really the level where a lot of the magic is going to happen. Because the Soma transference is going to be fantastic for whoever hero has the symbiote. And Illidan has been a focus the entire time. The blinds are obviously screwing with him a little bit. But once that you have the survivability there, you can really start to chase this around a lot. It's interesting to see that there's not as much bot lane focus as we're seeing in Europe, since this is traditionally the lane that most teams focus on quite heavily, because there's 2 pumpkin camps compared to the one at the top side. So Karazim is very much alone here, gets the pumpkins connected in. Top lane gets pressured at the same time though, and this bell tower is a lot closer to falling, and with 5 heroes now pushing in, there's absolutely no trouble for them to make that happen. So nice control for close to death. Well, they get that what set up. And in the meantime, we're having Karazim with a 7-sided even at the bot lane against Cookie Man. Got some decent damage in, but by far not enough to get the kill here. The fight is still working on up to the top. Circling actually nearly falling, but again, barely moving out here. The ult from Lily, Hosty jumping away too. A lot of ults being used there as well, and so far unsuccessful. But it's 5 bell towers against 3 now, which means that Close to Death has a good chance of taking the core of the Lost Boys down to 19, maybe even more than that. Collusion still trying to take that down. Again, a happy recipient of the symbiote as well. 13 talents only on the side of Close to Death, so they have another advantage here. Lily with a channel gets interrupted. Cattle is already jumping in and jumping out. They go for Keenan. They're trying to get the kill there. Mighty Gust has been used. Bot lane pressure with Samuro against Collusion. And still the action around with Huberman getting interrupted any second by Illidan. They're waiting for 13 and they just don't have it yet. It's an important talent for them, and Illidan goes down. Lily gets the kill. That's 5 shots fired already, and another channel is going to make this another 5 in total 10. And therefore the core down to 14 points. 13 is there, and it's too late. Soma transference is ready. Can they maybe finally get a bit of momentum? Because so far, Close to Death is just rocking this game. They're always a little bit ahead of their opponent, and it's starting to become a problem for the Lost Boys. The Lily factor. Lily, is it going to be the 100% win rate in the playoffs here? That's what we're going to find out, and so far it seems like that's going to be the case, especially since Abathur just died. Hanzo is dead too. Up at the top lane, Cookie Man was able to take down the little slugger. And with now only 1 single bell tower in the hands of the Lost Boys, this is a disaster. This is a total disaster right now for the Lost Boys. Illidan just dying way too often here, oftentimes isolated either through a gust or a cocoon. Even Lily moving in, sometimes the team just focusing on different heroes. They're trying to regain a bit of momentum here, but things are definitely looking tricky for the Lost Boys right now. Can they make this comeback happen? With Samuro just running around the map now and just pushing lane after lane and trading bell towers, it seems very unlikely. But maybe they can make the play. Falstad with the global is already taking more pumpkins over to the bottom of the map. They're trying to reclaim that lane now too. They have to stop these pumpkins obviously, and Collusion is already on the job. But with that bell tower at the top lane being the only one for the team, they have to get a bit more. There's a triple altar now. Guys, this game could literally end here. You win the team fight, you take 2 altars, take the boss, and game's over. You take 3 altars, the game's over too. So they're trying to reclaim the bottom bell tower as quickly as they can, but this is not looking pretty at all. I mean, Close to Death might be able to get it. They have the boss already. That's 4 shots fired. And now 2 altars is all that they need. Not anymore. Okay, now they need 3. So at least those were taken. They're still trying to set up the fights though. Yeah, Lily is already channeling the top right. She's going to get this one easily. Illidan jumping in, jumping around. Still has the ult ready. Gets the ult. Tries to delay this. 4 shots fired. Arrow comes in and doesn't hit a thing. Oh yeah, that bell tower is going to be claimed too. They're going to fall down to 2 points on the core. That could be the end of the game, guys. I mean, it's 16 talents already. Falsat has channeled the top now. The core is going to be on 2 points. And now with a 5 versus 4, they're going straight for the fight, and this could be the end of it. We were looking for a potential reverse sweep, and so far it seems like the Lost Boys can't make it happen. Talking Trees comes in with a copy. That one gets destroyed. At least Cassia is dead, but here's another channel attempt. One interrupt against Keenan, and it seems... Oh, the arrow! Cattle needs to go for a YOLO move, and he goes in for it. Host, he's low, and Hanzo is dead. Full-on bloodbath right now, but with Cattle about to fall and Collusion also low, they're starting to lose the ground here. There he goes. Mana Mule is already getting dropped, but that should be the end of it. Unless Illidan now goes for the insane solo kills, this will be the end. The channel is in, and that is game. Close to Death. They take down the Lost Boys. They shut down the reverse sweep attempt and are victorious in the first best of 5 here at the Division S North America playoffs. GG and well played. Great job by Close to Death.